Get up here. I said get up here. Come on. Now lay down. Lay down. There you go. There you go. All right. There you go. All right. Here we go. Hold on. Hold on. There you go. There's a treat for you. There's a treat for you. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to go live. I'm going to go live. All right. I gotta go live. All right, here we go. We're going live. Let's get some music going here, man. Hold on. Quit panting, man. Well, not my fault, man. Not my fault. There we go. Hello. I'm not sure who came in. I'm not sure who came in. Oh my gosh, Kathy, good to see you. Good to see you. How are you tonight? There we go. Are you gonna lay down? Come on, lay down. Come on, lay down. There you go. No, there you go. Good to see you, Kathy. We're always glad to see you. All right. There we go. The big old lion. Get that out of people's faces so they can see it. What's your problem? How are you? The babies are good. Babies are good. We're going to go out filming this week. We're going to go out and do a little filming. We're going to start doing more videos on PTSD and stuff. Seems like people are kind of interested in hearing what I have to say on some of the PTSD stuff that I've been through. So I'm going to start doing more videos on that. Get over here. Come. I said get over here. Get over here. So we're kind of switching the channel around, raising money for a couple projects that I got going on. Hey, good to see you, man. I'm actually gonna change the channel's name again for about the 50 millionth time. Because I was talking to people and they're like, well, we don't know that you're a veteran. It's like, well, this channel is about me being a veteran, so maybe I need to fix that if I'm going to talk about veteran stuff. So I'm going to change the channel's name over to Backroad Veteran. So that's where I'd be interested to know when you guys saw the channel the first time. Hi, Hugo's. When you guys saw the channel the first time, did you think I was a veterinarian, or a veteran? I don't know. I always just figured I didn't even think about the veterinarian part. But I'd be interested to know what you all thought. Metal Gear. Anybody who's in the chat, anybody who's in the live stream right now, when you see the name, do you think when you first saw the name, did you think I was a veteran, or did you think it was a veterinarian channel? Because yeah, it's just about getting it in the logo here, because trying to get the word veteran in the logo, that's where I like the logo the way it is, but I want to ask you guys about something else. I'm thinking about having the logo redesigned. Well, it was about the branding, Metal Gear. That's what this was really about, was the branding part of it. So when people see the channel, do they feel like they're gonna watch a video from a veteran, or do they feel like they're gonna watch a video from a veterinarian? And so that's why I was wondering and looking for your feedback on this, because your feedback is really important. Hi, Paul. Good to see you. Paul, what I'm talking about, yeah, I'm just trying to get from somebody watches or sees the channel and they see Backroad Vet. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Metal Gears. Um, I pretty much decided I'm going to switch it over to Backroad Veteran. Um, hello, Mr. Handsome. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. So I'm going to switch it over to Backroad Veteran. But the other thing I'm going to do, and y'all are feel free to super chat if you want, because I'm getting ready to go on a mission, a mission for veterans to it's for disabled veterans to basically improve their lives. And even though I've made a lot of progress in mine, thanks, Paul. I needed to hear that. So the second thing I'm going to do for any of you who are interested is I'm going to be redesigning the logo. So if you're in here and you're from America and you know somebody who's a designer, I'm going to be putting the logo up for redesign. Thank you, Giles. I'm going to be putting the logo up for redesign, but I'm going to be putting it up for an American to redesign it. I'm going to put like I don't have a lot of money, so I'm gonna put the logo up. Okay. I'm all for it. I'm all for it, and here's why. Lobos is asking, what's my opinion of the current war? I'm all for it, and here's why. If we don't shut down and take over control of the Strait of Hormuz, China gets. Hey Diane, good to see you again. Glad you're in here. China moves all their oil through the Strait of Hormuz, and you're welcome. Thank you for being here. This isn't about sacrificing. Hello, country. This isn't Guardian Angel. It's so good to see you, everybody. Come on, everybody. This is one time I want everybody to do something in the chat. Guardian Angel is having a birthday today. Let's just give her a quick shout out and wish her a happy birthday. So Lobos, what we're doing right now, and I don't care who the president is. I really don't care who the president is. Any president who, if they were going to do this, would be doing us a beautiful favor. I'm sorry, Mary. I'm really sorry. I try to help out Agent Orange veterans. I try to do everything I can to help them out, to get the word out. So, Mary, I want to answer Lobo's question here. China gets almost all their oil out of the Persian Gulf. China has made it very clear, very open, that when they've said as soon as 2027, and they're putting all their military effort into it, so it's clear that they're going to do it. They want to move on Taiwan, and they want to take Taiwan back. And if they do that, America has to get involved, because all of our computer chips and everything, all the companies that make our computer chips are over there in Taiwan. So in order for us to maintain, cell phones, all of our electronic infrastructure, we have to protect Taiwan. So if we move on the Persian Gulf right now and control that Strait of Hormuz, it's totally about control over a territory. And the one thing that Americans fail to realize is that's the way it's been for the last 5,000 years on this planet. So let me finish my thought here, Lobos. I think you're going to see where I'm going here. If the United States locks down the Strait of Hormuz right now, we protect our manufacturing base that's in Taiwan, which is basically the heartbeat of our country right now. All of our computer chips, all of our electronics come from Taiwan. They do come from China as well, but if we lock down that strait, we prevent China from moving on Taiwan. So we can either pay a very, very tragic price in 2027, hundreds of thousands of lives, American lives, Japanese, Filipino, the whole 9 yards, or else we can go ahead and go into the Strait of Hormuz right now, take control of it, lock down China's source to their oil, and prevent a much larger tragedy next year. So that, regardless of what people's thoughts are on global politics, the reality is we have an interconnectedness with Taiwan, and you can't break that overnight. So what we have to do is we have to go and we have to protect our asset, because if we don't control China's oil, China is going to control our electronic chip infrastructure. Plus, I'm going to try to draw this on the screen for you guys. There's a strait down there, and the global oceans, the global shipping traffic is controlled through a series of key straits, and one of those straits right there is the South China Sea that goes up between Taiwan and China, around the bottom of Vietnam, and up and through the Philippines. And so all the traffic that's coming from the Persian Gulf that's going to the West Coast goes around that corner. The same with the Suez Canal, which is where a lot of piracy is going on right now, and we're also focusing on the Panama Canal in Venezuela and Cuba. Those are key shipping areas. And so when you see this government, this administration moving on those areas, it's because we're trying to protect our sea routes. This has nothing to do with Venezuela and the drugs. That's secondary. It's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. We don't want to see our citizens dying from, these drug overdoses, but it's more about controlling those sea lanes, so that, and controlling that oil. Well, this is a very good point, Lobos. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. This is a very good point. The forefathers wanted to keep us out of foreign affairs. That's true. We have a current reality that we have to understand, that was 1776. This is 2026, and keeping us out of foreign affairs is no longer an option. The globe is connected. Whether we want it that way or not, we have to look at what's called the reality of the battlefield. And the reality of the battlefield is that we're in global commerce. But whether you agree with it or disagree with it, that's the way it is right now. And so in order to protect our society, in order to protect the United States of America's way of life, we have to protect those shipping lanes. And we have to, and our government, if they're going to do their job correctly, Biden, Obama, Trump, it doesn't matter. If a president's going to do his job correctly, a president has to think of the self-interest of our country. Just like if you're on your piece of property, you have to think of the self-interest of your property and your home and your family. He has to think of the self-interest of the American family. And he has to guarantee that the American family is going to be taken care of. It's up to China's president to look after China, Russia, look after Russia, Britain, etc. So our president, the president of the United States, the office, not the human being, not the name that's in the office, but if we're gonna survive as a country, we have to begin to look at the presidency again as the president of the United States. I wasn't necessarily a fan of some of the previous presidents. Thank you, country. I wasn't a fan of some of the previous presidents. I was a fan of some of the previous presidents. Some I liked, some I didn't. And yet, as me personally, the way I see myself as a veteran, I support the office. When I was in the Navy, I supported the commander-in-chief, no matter who that was. It happened to be somebody I agreed with at the time, but the commander-in-chief is the commander-in-chief. If we're going to succeed as a nation, we have to get behind the president, no matter who the president is. We have to get behind the Senate, no matter who the Senate is. And we have to show them that we support them, because we need them to support us. We need them to make those tough decisions about things like Iran. You know, um, we have to protect that Strait of Hormuz at all costs. My views on whether Israel is involved or not, I don't care if Israel is involved. I know how, I know how important that Strait of Hormuz is to us. I could care less about Israel. I could really care less about Israel. Israel's going to do what Israel's going to do. Whether they're in bed with us or not, I don't know. You know what? Global politics is global politics. It doesn't matter if it's Israel, it doesn't matter if it's Ukraine, it doesn't matter if it's Mexico. The United States has to have diplomatic relationships with other governments. In 2026, that's what has to happen. It's a non-negotiable. Israel seems to be the thorn in everybody's side. If you look at the Bible already talks about that. But we're not going to talk about that from Bible. Let's talk about it from key points of view, from economics, from supply systems. That's what we need to think about for America. If we're an ally with Israel, if we're an ally with the United Kingdom, if we're an ally with the European Union or Ukraine, we have to be an ally because we need them to be an ally as well. Okay? Governments do dirty things. We seem to have this idea that governments are supposed to be people with clean hands. Governments do not, politicians do not come with clean hands. Anybody who seems to think that we're going to vote a politician in, a sinner, and between the time we vote them in until they get to their office the first day that they're going to become a saint is, I don't understand why people think that. We're voting sinners in, and they're going to go to a place of the most power in the world, and they're going to become bigger sinners. They're going to get dirty. They're going into a mud pit like nothing that we can even imagine. And we need to be able to send somebody there who has the guts to go up against other gangsters, because our people who we've got in government, Biden, Obama, it doesn't matter who it is, they're not half as bad as Xi Jinping or Putin or Zelensky or any of these guys. Those guys are some first-class gangsters, okay? And if we're going to send somebody be the president of the United States, we need to send a gangster, a full-on, first-class, 100% gangster who can go out there and go up against these guys and call them on their bullshit and be willing to stand to them nose to nose and say, I'm not going to take your shit. This is the United States of America. And if you guys are gonna come after us, you better come after us all in, because if you don't, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna kick the living shit out of you. And that's what we need as a president. That's what we need as a Senate. That's what we need as the United States House of Representatives. Is people who are going to come in, they're going to give that attitude and take that attitude to other governments, because right now we're in an interconnected global economy, and if our government does not support us that way, these guys are going to come in and they're going to eat us up. They're going to eat us for lunch. They're already trying. The psychological operations that people seem to think are taking place in the United States through our government. Let me tell you, as a person who used to be in psychological operations, I ran one of the most successful psychological operations projects when I was over in Iraq. Most people don't know that about me. I don't talk about that much here on this channel. I ran that program. I know exactly what is going on in America, in the American media, and it is not in any way, shape, or form run by what we think is our government. The NSA, yeah, they look at all of our stuff. The CIA, a little bit, okay? We give the CIA much more power than it has. The CIA is not even 1/10 of what people think they are as being the bad guy. They really aren't. The Russians, the Chinese, possibly the Israelis. What people don't know is we spend as much time spying on our own allies as we do spying on the enemy. And they spend as much time spying on us. We've seen Israelis get caught spying on us. We've seen the UK get caught spying on us. And we've gotten caught spying on them. You know, that's just the reality of government. Um, but I hope that I'm answering these questions that, have popped up here, because we what we have here is, we have in the United States, what they have is, we have what's called identity politics. Um, and identity politics means that instead of focusing on an issue, we focus on a person. And when we're distracted by a person, then we're distracted away from the things that are important, which is our future. And so now that we're distracted by a person, we're focused on just one little thing when we need to be focused on a big picture. Um, the only thing that I challenge people to think about is when they say, "Are we in bed with Israel? Are we in bed with the UK? Are we in bed with Germany? Are we in bed with Japan? Are we in bed with Taiwan?" We're in bed with all these guys. We're in bed with all these guys. And we have to be. We're in a global economy. There's no way that we can detach from that global economy and continue to live our way of life. And I think that's where Americans get lost, is we want to decouple, we want to remove ourselves, but, well, we want our cake and we want to eat it too. We want to be the nice guys in the world, we want to be the kind guys in the world, but we want our way of living. We want to continue things the way that they are, but we want to turn around and we want to pretend that, we're the Mother Teresa of the world. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. In a world of gangsters, you got to have gangsters to go up against the gangsters. You know, you really do. And I'll tell you something, Lobos, that you may not realize. When I was over in Iraq in 2008, and I've spoken about this on here a few times, when I was over in Iraq in 2008, the Americans controlled Iraq, and yet we gave Iraq, we were trying to stand up their government, and that was a part of one of the projects that I was in, was to rebuild, ironically, was to rebuild the faith of the Iraqi people in the government of Iraq. So in 2008, the United States turned over control of all the oil fields to the Iraqi government. The Iraqi government put them up for bid. Who did the Iraqi government sell or give the contracts to all those oil fields? They gave them to China in 2008. So you had American soldiers over there fighting for their lives, bleeding and dying, so that the Iraqi government could give oil fields to China. And we continued that until 2012. Americans continued to die for Chinese oil. And now, in 2026, all the oil that Iran sells, or most of it, goes to China. Almost all the oil that Iraq produces goes to China. Saudi Arabia produces oil for China. The United Arab Emirates produces oil for China. Okay? And now China wants to go to war in 2027 and take Taiwan. And they want to screw America in the process. No. No, we have to go over there and we have to take care of business right now. And we have to do it with great violence. And we have to do it with great decisiveness and certainty. And we have to go in there and we just have to hammer the living shit out of them. And we can't stop and we can't think twice about anything. Because I tell you what, 2027 rolls around and China gets its hands on Taiwan, we're screwed. We are 110% screwed. And if China gets its hands on Taiwan, or if China threatens to get its hands on Taiwan, and we wind up in a cyber war, we got a problem. We got a big problem. And I hope everybody's kind of seeing the picture here, is we have to step back from our own little petty political infighting and spits and spats, and we have to look at survival over the next year. Because here's what it looks like if we go all in on Taiwan, China moves on Taiwan, and we go all in, because we have a treaty just like with NATO. If Taiwan is attacked, by treaty, we're we're sworn to go over and defend them. Electronics are not. So is Japan, so is Korea, so is the Philippines. Everybody around there is going to go all in on China. They're going to go all in on Taiwan. We're going to lose carriers. We're going to lose bases. We're going to lose tens of thousands at minimum. Tens of thousands at minimum. If they were to sink one aircraft carrier, they may have destroyed Iraq. They may have. Need to talk to Dick Cheney and KBR and L3 Communications about that. They did have the right to defend themselves, and you also see a lot of people, a lot of soldiers and stuff coming out now, Lobos, and saying the exact same thing that you said, and I'm one of them. We were bought into a lie. And so everything that you're saying, Lobos, I'm totally in on what you're saying. We don't want another forever war. But we have to choose which forever war we're going to take. Is it going to be Taiwan, or is it going to be? No, it isn't. I can't play that kind of music on here. Is it going to be Taiwan, or is it going to be Iran? We have to basically choose the lesser of two evils. Yeah, I'm glad Cheney passed. I'm sure he's living at the gates of hell. I can't say that for sure, and I hope not. But that was one evil dude, man. That was one evil dude. So. Everything that you're saying, what's my thoughts on Ukraine? Well, you know, it's amazing what we find out about what Ukraine was doing with our weapons. We were sending weapons over to Ukraine, and Ukraine was turning right around and selling those weapons back in to sometimes to Muslim terrorist organizations. Okay. We're sending weapons over there to protect their country, and they're turning around and pulling weapons deals and pushing them back out into the Middle East. Nah, they're nasty dudes. They're nasty dudes. We need to give them the keys back to their country and say good luck. Good luck. Good luck. You know, and I'm not a big fan of the European Union or NATO, because it's like, why are we paying all the money to defend you guys? You know, this is just my personal beliefs. Again, has nothing to do with the American government. Whoever you may have voted for in here, I totally respect your right to vote, and I'm glad that you did. I'm looking at this from a global perspective, independent of whoever is in office. And boy, I look fat on this camera. So I hope that this is helping to answer your questions and looking at it from kind of a an overview of above and beyond whatever administration is in here. Because I'll tell you something about Iran. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this. I saw it. I saw some stuff from the inside about Iran. But it seems like every time a government, and I'll say it, maybe this is the case with this current administration, every time they need an excuse to do something in the Middle East, they pull up the fact that Iran's about to develop nuclear weapons. That's been going on since 1998. Oh, Iran's gonna get a nuclear weapon next week. Iran's close to enriching uranium. That whole thing gets pulled out about every 2-3 years. You know, Israel's been pulling that out. You know, so Lobos, you and I. The one thing that I found that I believe that we need to start saying to each other, I firmly believe that we need to start, when we have communications with each other as citizens, if you're over here and I'm over here, if you're left, I'm right, instead of coming to each other and saying, I disagree with you on this, but, or, you know, whatever, and then we put the word but in there, you know, I feel this way about this, but, you know, I think you're this, and this, but, you know, we need to be able to come to each other and say, you know, I think you and I agree on a lot of things together. We may have, you know, different views on this issue. Let's just remember that we also are Americans together. We really are. We're Americans together. And this is one of the ways I think that we can begin to unite ourselves again. One thing we have to realize, though, about military intelligence and psychological operations is this, and there was a Russian who said this, and it's proven to be true so many times through the years, is that if anyone, and this does not just apply to governments, but if anyone anywhere in the world can get you to believe in something for 2 months, 60 days, if they can get you to buy in and believe on whatever it is that they're telling you, to where you truly believe in it and you're committed in it, after 2 months, you'll be willing to die for it, even if somebody can come in and show you the facts to prove you wrong. Let's say that, okay, I have this bag, and this bag is brown. Okay? I want you guys to follow me here. I want you guys to follow me. This bag is brown. If somebody comes in and has an influence over you to the point that they say that, no, this bag is blue, and they convince you that this bag is blue for 2 months, and then I come back to you and I say, no, this bag is brown, you will no longer believe me. You will fight me tooth and nail, to the point that you would actually be willing to die to prove or to maintain that belief that this bag is brown. Now, I want you to think about what I just said, and I want you to take that 2 months and turn it into 40 years. Okay? We think that the Soviet Union and the Russian Republic stopped psychological operations inside of the United States when the Soviet wall came down. I would like to ask you guys this one question, or I would actually encourage you guys to do this. After we get off of this live stream, go out and look for a website. I got to plug the phone in here. It's a channel on YouTube, and it's called RT News. What RT News stands for is, it stands for the Russian Times. Okay? The Russians never stopped psychological operations inside the United States. The Russians never stopped trying to dismantle and destroy the United States. And as China grew in influence in the 90s into the 2000s, the Chinese built up a massive psychological operations profile within the United States. So you have the Chinese and the Russians who are totally and completely focused on dismantling the United States from the inside. Because the Russians have said repeatedly back during the Cold War, going back 50 or 60 years, they've said, we will take over the United States and we'll never fire a shot. And that's because the Americans are masters at psychological operations, and we do it inside Russia. We're doing it inside Russia right now. We're doing it inside China, and they're doing it inside us. And it's about dismantling a country without ever having to fire a shot. It's about getting our citizens to buy in on whatever bullshit it is that they're trying to peddle to us, to divide us, because a nation divided is easier to conquer than a nation that's united. And they've really done a good job at that. They've done it through race. They've done it through many other things that, if I was to mention on here, I'd probably get flagged. But if you look at our children today, they've done it through entitlement. Part of that comes from our way of living and our success, but they really don't have to work too hard anymore. They really don't. The hard work has been done over the past 20 years. Now it's just a matter of just sitting back and waiting for the pieces to fall apart. Mind control is easy. I'll show you guys something. I want to show you guys something about what you think is mind control. I'm going to show you mind control. Okay? So you take this phone and you swipe it. Okay? I'm not going to put in my password, but you swipe that phone. Okay? So you're going through videos. Okay? We're gonna hold the phone down like this. I'll turn it off. So you see a video and you swipe it and you're like, okay, that video was cool, and you swipe it. Okay. And I've done UX design and UI design and heat mapping and all that stuff in addition to the PSYOP work that I did over in Iraq. So I have a pretty good understanding of what I'm about to tell you. If you think that they need to manipulate your mind, they really don't. From what I guess what a lot of people think about like evil mind control. I want to show you this so that you understand how they read your mind, because you give them all the information. Now this screen right here, it's a touch screen. Okay, you touch it, it registers your heat, and you also look at it. It registers your face and your biometrics. Okay, so you're sitting there and you're watching a video. Okay, and you scroll through it. So it's sensing your heat, and it's also watching your eyes at the same time. Okay, so you see a video. Let's say that it's a video about something that you disagree with. So you take your swipe and you put a little bit more pressure on it. Ooh, I'm angry. You swipe it. I want to get away from that. Ooh, I want to get away from that. So they see your eyes. They see your swipe. Okay. So a video comes up, and let's say that you're scrolling through, and all of a sudden you're looking at that video and you say, oh, I want to watch that. And you swipe it back down. They know that. They, meaning the large corporations, they've just seen you do that. You've swiped back down. Now, if that's a political video that motivates you, they've seen you swipe that. If that video that you swiped away from angrily was a political video, they know that. They also know how your face is functioning, and so they data map your face. So they have multiple data points that you've just given them to be able to tell them exactly what you're feeling. Okay? So we think about where that data was going, over to China. Okay? It really doesn't do any much better that it's here in the United States. Let's face it, we know that. But when you're handing them that data, now let's say that it's just you, Lobos, okay? I'm going to use Lobos and Metal Gear in this example. And then I'll use myself, okay? So let's say that Lobos and Metal Gear and myself, we all believe the same thing about the same politicians, about the same, let's just use the great disease from back in 2020. So we all feel that same way, right? So Lobos and Metal Gear and I, we don't know each other. We've never met each other. They've been doing that, Molly, since the 1990s. It's a very good point. Very good point, Molly. Thank you for bringing that up. They don't need to watch us. We let them watch us. We let them watch us. So it's not that they watch us. We let them watch us. We want them to watch us. You see what I'm saying? They want us. That's a very good point, Odin. Let's face it. We all love that George Carlin video about words. We want them to watch us. We give them permission. We hit those accept buttons. We hit those privacy buttons. We hit those cookie buttons. We give them permission. We give them permission. When I was in Iraq, they gave me permission. They gave me permission. I was on the other side. So everything that's going on here, the teams that I work on, we built, the precursors to all the things that are being used in the world today. And we didn't really build them from like a secrecy angle or anything. We were just using the tools for a military point of view that were already in place. Google, Facebook. I mean, Facebook was just coming out. But going back to the point, I do it no different than you all do it. We 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 studied their emotions. Yeah, we did, very closely. Um, but we give them everything that they need. And when I say the one thing that I think that we do that's probably the most dangerous thing that we do is we say the word them or they. We don't define them, we don't define they. We give power to an unseen. Now we know who it is. We know it's YouTube, we know it's Facebook, we know it's Instagram, we know it's Google, we know who the theys are. But when we give it to they, we give it to an unseen source that we feel and we believe is more powerful than us. The power of AI is not the gateway to AI is what we're doing right now. Okay, that's the gateway to AI. The true power of AI does not exist in this phone. It does, but I think when I make my point here, I think all of you are going to understand what I'm saying here. The power of AI is small in our phones and in our computers. It's small in comparison to where the true power of AI lies. And the true power of AI lies in the data centers. It lies in the data centers because they're taking there's 14 of us in the room right now, 22 people have liked. Okay, so we have a little ecosystem here, you and I, all of us together. So we have a little group of people, and we're all sitting here, and we're all talking, and we're agreeing on these big, bad, monstrous organizations that control us. So they're going to take all of this information, and they're going to put it into a data center, and then they're going to compare our information with all these other little people out there holding conversations on Facebook, on Discord, on Instagram, on Snapchat. People who are like us, and they're going to bring all that information together and they're going to develop a picture, a snapshot. And so the power of AI is not here in the phones. The power of AI is in the data centers. Because the power of AI in the data center is where we have this information, and then they take our information, they go compare it with the Indian government, and they compare it with what's going on in the country of India with their citizens, and then they go compare it with Bangladesh, and then they go compare it with Saudi Arabia, and they go compare it with Egypt. And so they're building a global snapshot. Do you see where is this all starting to make sense? We give too much power to AI generated stuff. Hey Moxie, good to see you. I want to encourage all of you to take your eyes off of the AI generated videos and the AI generated information. That's bait. Okay, I want you all to remember the bait is just this AI generated stuff. Again, the global organizations, I don't like to go with the global elite and all that because I kind of got a little bit of fatigue for that. It's business, okay? It's business, it's power. And I want you all to remember this triad. It's kind of a triad that I developed for myself. And I hope this will help you understand because it's basic business. These are humans doing this to humans. So if we're giving humans power over us, definitely the Illuminati. Illuminati is made up of humans. Elon is a human. Jeff Bezos is a human. Bill Gates is a human. Odin is a human. Momox is a human. Guardian Angel is a human. Lodi's a human. Metal Gear's a human. What does everything that I just said have in common? Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all these guys. Odin. What do we all have in common? We're human. We're human. Okay? We're human. Uncommon Woman is a human. Odin is a human. Elon is a human. We're human. That is the biggest point. We're human. We have to put humans in governments to help help us, but you don't have to give these humans any things that you don't want them to have. You may be. So we're living on Earth with reptilians. You're not going to take away the power for me to live a good quality of life. I'm not going to give that to you. I'm not going to give that to you. You know, I really think that if we take the complexity out of things and we dial it back to the simple, um, and the simple is, do you have good relationships with your neighbors? When's the last time you met your neighbor? I talk to my neighbor pretty much every day, so I can kind of come at this and say I'm asking a question. I live what I'm about to say. Um, yeah, that's a very interesting point, Odin. Just like the B-2 bomber was designed after that, I think it's a Sparrowhawk or the Falcon or one of them, but we've given too much power to people who are human beings just like us. We're all human. Even if they've got reptilian in them, we're still all human. Um, just boil it back down to the simple. Just bring it back down to the simple. Step outside, get some vitamin D, say hi to your neighbor, enjoy the human to human relationship. It's great that we're here, it's great that we're talking, we're humans having a relationship, but none of you are going to be at my funeral in the rain. None of you will. And even though your neighbor won't, to go over and build a relationship with your neighbor is a success. It's a beautiful success. You know, build that relationship, establish that relationship. I want to make a point to you guys about the value of a relationship with a neighbor. Okay? I want to make this point because it's something that I noticed that took place back when we had an earthquake here in my town in 1992. So, Mom and I are sitting there in the house one night. I'd just gotten out of the Navy. Hey, two goats, good to see you. I'll give you guys a picture of the dogs here in a minute. We've just been talking, getting into some deep dive here. By the way, if you all want to, I've got a disabled veteran challenge coming up in a few months. Simple girl, good to see you. Good to see you. Always good to see you, Simple girl. Um, yeah. Thank you, Momox. Just don't show up in the rain. Just don't show up in the rain. The reason you can't show up in the rain is because I'm getting buried at sea. I'm getting buried at sea. So I want to share this with you guys about the value of human relationships, and the value of having a good relationship with your neighbors. Um, so it's 1992, and we've just had an earthquake here in our town. We didn't even have the earthquake yet. We had a foreshock, a little one before the big one. So the little earthquake happens, and Mom and I are sitting there on the couch. I'd just gotten out of the Navy, and the first thing we do is we jump up out of the couch and we run outside. And where did we go? We went to the middle of the street. And what happened next door? The guy across the street, he came out to the middle of the street. The guys down the street, they came out. They came up to us. The guys up the street, they came out. The families, the wives, the husbands, they all came out and they came to the middle of the street. We hadn't seen these people in 2, 3 years. But when tragedy strikes, people come together. Okay? You hear all these people saying, I'm going to go out into the woods, I'm going to be a survivalist, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But when disaster strikes, those people will get scared, just like I'll get scared, just like you'll get scared. If you're not going to get scared about a disaster, even as much as you're prepared, if you're not going to feel that you need another human being in times of disaster, I hope that you get to the point where you will feel that way, because we do need each other. And that's why I'm saying, go meet your neighbors. Go have relationships with your neighbors. Enjoy your neighbors, because when disaster strikes, your neighbor's going to need you and you're going to need them. And if you really want your country to survive, being able to have relationships even with the people you don't necessarily agree with is going to be the most powerful way that we can save our country. Getting out of the phone and into life is probably the best thing that you will ever be able to do for your country. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys something about your phone. And I learned this when I was in the Navy. Okay, if you go onto a ship, I want you to think about something. When we were on a ship, and this applies not just to Navy ships, it applies to all ships. Okay, when you're on a ship, you have 3, maybe 4 lookouts. Lookouts meaning people who watch everything that's going on around the ship out in the ocean, looking for the enemy if you're at war, looking for hazards that may affect the ship up ahead of the ship where you're sailing. Is there maybe a container has fallen off of a cargo ship? Okay, still hazards of navigation. So when you have a ship, you have lookouts, and those lookouts are responsible for 360 degrees of the ship. I used to actually be a lookout, not a glamorous job. Please don't let me give you the impression it's a glamorous job. And then you have radar that's watching, and it's at 360 degrees around the ship. It's 360 degrees around the battle group if you have more than one ship. You always have 360 degrees looking all around. Okay? Now I want you to think of you as a human being. Okay? You have the ability, to turn around and look 360 degrees. Both your feet you can turn, and your eyes can watch 360 degrees around you. Okay? And that keeps your body strong. You're moving, you're pivoting, you're functioning, you're looking. A human being is meant to move. Okay? Now, if you take this phone and you put it in front of your face and you think about 360 degrees and you go this way, and here's center, and you go this way, right? If you spend 12 to 14 hours a day in front of your phone and you're looking 1 degree left, 1 degree right, 1 degree port, 1 degree starboard, and you're a 360 degree human being, if the Russians and the Chinese and let's say the Israelis and everybody else is using this to influence you, and you're like this all the time in here, if you're like that, they've taken your 360 degrees away. They've taken your 360 degrees away. They've taken your mind, but they've also taken your body. Because if you're like this and your head's down and you're looking in your phone, your neck is shrinking, your brain is shrinking, and your awareness is shrinking. Your awareness of what's going on around you. Because when you're here, you're not face to face with another person. You're not having good conversations. You're not having bad conversations. You're not having tension. You're not having happiness. You're always right here. And you're always giving yourself more and more and more of what you want. You're not giving yourself the challenges and the chaos and the nightmares and the fun and the happiness. You're not giving yourself that full spectrum of what a human being is supposed to experience. You're only giving yourself a little bit. And the little bit of what you're what you're giving yourself, the little bit that you're giving yourself is always exactly what you want. It's never the full spectrum perspective of what you need. Is this helping anybody? Is I hope it is, because I'm just sitting here, running my mouth, and I'm hoping that this is helping, but I'm also hoping that there's people out there who are disagreeing with me, because that disagreement is good. I don't need an echo chamber here. And so the I always love to see people or agreeing with me, but there's also an opportunity for disagreement, because I told my dad the other day, I said, Dad, I said, I never want to know somebody, even someday if I get married again, I never want to meet somebody who agrees with me 100%. Never. Never. I never want to meet somebody who agrees with me 100%, because how, even at 58 years old, how am I supposed to be challenged? How am I supposed to be, because challenging, whether it's a physical challenge, whether it's, a challenge of my values and my beliefs, if somebody agrees with me 100% and I'm in an echo chamber, how do I grow? And there happens to be a person in here right now, Lynette. Lynette is from Denmark. Lynette and I have disagreements on things, and yet I look forward to seeing Lynette come into chat, because Lynette comes in, Lynette will bring different perspectives. Lynette will say, well, I don't like this about your government. I don't like that. That's good, because when I walk away from this chat, Simple Girl and I, we agree on quite a few things. Simple Girl and I, ODA and I agree on a lot of things. When I walk away from a chat like what we're having tonight, I don't necessarily think about what ODA and Simple Girl and Guardian Angel and Irish Cream say. I think about what Lynette says. And the reason I do is because Lynette has challenged me. Lynette has challenged me. And instead of taking that challenge and saying, oh, I hate Lynette. Oh, Lynette screwed up. Oh, Lynette's a bad person. It's like, okay, I need to step back. I need to check myself. I need to call myself on my own bullshit and say, maybe Lynette has something that I need to think about. Just because Lynette lives in Denmark, just because Lynette is a part of the European Union, whatever I may not agree with, Lynette's a human being. I value Lynette. I need to stop and give Lynette the time to, because Lynette comes into this chat room, she comes in here, this live stream, with respect. Lynette has always been very respectful in here. So if Lynette comes in here with respect, and Lynette comes in here and contributes to the conversation, I owe it to Lynette to give Lynette's perspective time, to think about Lynette's perspective. Doesn't mean that it may change my viewpoint, but it doesn't mean that sometime down the road in the future, that what Lynette said today that I disagree with may not become something that helps me to expand my perspective on something else. And so that's kind of the way that I view things, and kind of the reason that I'm encouraging you here. We've been here 59 minutes. Usually I don't go 59 minutes, because I don't believe in holding long chat sessions that keep you here with me. If you decide you want to get off here and you want to continue scrolling your phone, that's on you. But I don't want to take up time in your life that you can never get back. I want you to go out and have that full spectrum experience in your life. I got, today before I came in here, the dogs and I were sitting out on the porch, getting some vitamin D, enjoying the sun, playing the ball, having some air in my face, looking at the flowers. Good quality of life. Tomorrow we're going to be going out in the woods. We're going to be having a good time, out in nature. The best therapy that I've ever had. I'll never go back to a counselor again. I'll go out into the woods. I want to tell you guys about ODA. Number one, ODA's got Green by his name. He's a member. Memberships are open, 99 cents. You guys, love for you guys to be a member. You know, I'm going to start developing the membership community, build it up to be something of value. But yeah, become a member. Super chat this channel because this channel is going to be about. I just went and got Starlink, guys. I just went and got Starlink. So if you guys want to go out in the woods, that's where we're going. We're going out in the woods. We're going out in the woods. If you guys want to be on a live stream with me, you're going to be on a live stream with me out in the woods. I'm not going to let you guys sit here in the house anymore. You guys are going to go out and enjoy nature. You guys want to come on this channel, we're going to be in nature, man. We're going to go out and we're going to do stuff. You want to support that? You can always do super chats because I got the Starlink to, you know, this is my business. This is my future. I've developed this channel, and the next step now that I've developed this channel and monetize it is to give you guys content where you guys say, okay, I want to click the super chat button. I want to watch the video. I want to watch the video all the way through. So I want to give you guys that value. But I want you guys to also understand this is my business. That's why I put up merch. That's why I put up, you know, the content that you guys can watch it through till the end so that the advertisements play. You know, because when I go out in the woods, when I take the live streams out there, when I film the content, I'm spending gas money. I don't do this for free. When I say I don't do this for free, the gas isn't free. And now that I'm doing videos, when I do videos, I'm going to be going out into the woods. Any videos that you see me doing from now on are going to be out in the woods. And so the content that I'm giving all of you will be content that's created with thought in mind. A lot of the content from now on, as you'll see, the dogs are over here sleeping. Spirit, say hi. Say hi. The dogs are over here sleeping. This is me. We're talking. We're having the conversation. So the channel is going to be moving into a channel of depth. Talking about, seems like a lot of people want to hear my stories about PTSD, what I've done with the PTSD. I just did a video on psychedelics, and my use of psychedelics, what I get from psychedelics, why I don't use psychedelics for, I guess the word is, I don't use psychedelics to go out and get high. I just don't. I use psychedelics for medical purposes. I usually microdose. I talked about that in my video. I did a deep dive into, you know, why I have PTSD. I'm going to be doing talks about the fact that I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, but when I came back from Iraq, I was actually misdiagnosed with schizophrenia. And I lived with a misdiagnosis of schizophrenia for 10 years. You know, and I've never really talked about that. The misdiagnosis was handed down by one person. I had 3 doctors who spent probably over the course of 8 or 9 years working to get me to accept the fact that I was not diagnosed with schizophrenia. Again, what I just spoke about earlier, a person, if you give them 2 months to tell you that this bag is blue and not brown, you will die for it. I gave a counselor my mind for 2 years, where a state that I was vulnerable in, and she convinced me of that to the point that I was taking medications that were causing just symptoms, not full blown, just some symptoms of schizophrenia, not full blown schizophrenia, what it really truly is. Because the day after I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, I went to my college. I was in college at the time, and I told my professor, I said I was diagnosed with schizophrenia yesterday. He pulled me out of the classroom and he sat me down and he said, "Are you sure that diagnosis is accurate?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Dave," he goes, "I got a brother who has schizophrenia," and he goes, "You're nothing like that." But she got in my head when I was vulnerable. She got in my head and she convinced me. what this woman did to me was malpractice over and over and over and over again. And that's why I'm having these conversations with you guys, and that's why I want to do these videos, and I want to get these videos out to build that depth. But I have to tell you, as a content creator, it's kind of I watch the analytics on my videos, and I put out a video about having a nightmarish experience with a neighbor. Yeah, I'm getting ready to check that right now. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Thanks, ODA. We can talk about that more later. I've actually thought about that quite a bit. But these are the videos that I want to make, but I really need to think them through on how I'm going to be handing out information about myself. Um, you know, and I have to say, is this stuff that I would say in a podcast. And at this point in my life, it is something that I would say in a podcast, as long as I can build structure around what I'm saying, because I went through that meat grinder of what she put me through, and I've come out the other side. And I know that I've come out the other side because I was just talking to my neighbor the other day, and she goes, "Who you are now," she goes, "is not the person you were when you first moved in here." She goes, "You're a totally different person." She goes, "You're amazing." She goes, "The way that you were back then," she goes, it was sad." Hey, aloha, it's good to see you. So this is where the channel, this is where I want to take it. But I want to do it in a place where kind of, I've always talked about Gooby and Doobie, his dog. And I like the way that Gooby talks about the things that he's been through, and he always does it in nature. And the way that Hoof GP talks about the things that he's been through, and the way that he does it, when he's working. And so that's the direction that the channel's going to go, and to talk about, maybe some of the global topics if people want me to talk about those. Just remember, like ODA has done. ODA has become a member. ODA actually went and bought a hat. I appreciate that. We've had some people in here who have done super chats and things like that. I'm not going to hammer people on that, about doing the super chats and all that. That's just not who I am. I just need y'all to understand that as you find value in this channel, if you could, consider becoming a member, consider contributing to super chats as a way to, it's not support the channel, you are the channel. You really are. You're the channel, that I don't go down and buy, bags of treats for these guys because because I get a kick out of it. I'll go down and I'll buy treats for the guys, of course, but when I buy a $19 bag of treats like this, usually I'll give them one or two treats a day. I give these guys maybe a bag a week now, because I'm doing it on the live streams here. So these live streams, they cost money, and these live streams are for you. You come in and you enjoy it, and so your support on the channel is not supporting the channel; it is your channel. And so, so I think you guys kind of understand where. Am I on mute? I'm not. Are you hearing me, ODA? Are you hearing me, Guardian Angel? Are you guys hearing me, or am I muted? I don't think I'm muted because ODA just sent me a text message. Okay, good deal, Molly. I haven't seen your name before, Molly. I'm glad to hear you, or I'm glad to see you in the chat. And so, over the next month, I'm gonna be starting to run running membership drives and super chat drives to support the Starlink, support the trips that we're going to be taking out into the woods. So I've thought about it a lot, and it's like, how do I handle that? And um, well, we're here, we're doing this together, and I just went and purchased a Starlink dish with a $50 commitment for cell service every month, and that's going to be used to build this channel. And so I need you, or not need, I value all of you getting on board and supporting that process. I feel like I've, brought a lot of value to this channel, a lot of entertainment, and I believe that I've been able to prove to you that I'm a creator that's worth getting on board with. And so I hope you all feel the same way, that I'm a creator that's worth going all in on, through memberships, through super chats, whatever it may be. And I hope that I'll see you, or I look forward to seeing you all supporting the channel, and supporting our adventures as we move forward. So thank you for that. So I'll look forward to. I'm going to be putting together probably a $5 membership. Hi, Tori. I'm going to be putting together a $5 membership shortly. This is Denali, and the other one is Spirit. So I'll be putting together a $5 membership here after the 1st of May. Do I have an idea here tonight of how many people will be joining that $5 membership? Oh, I'm trying to break up their treats if I look like I'm this is a come on, stand up, girl. Let's show Carol. Come on, stand up, girl. Come on, up here. There you go. This is a Tibetan Mastiff. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate it. So I'm ODA, you've already got my back. ODA, don't worry about it, man. You got my back. I'm actually gonna probably pick up another veteran here. I've had some people coming into chat, and I like Guardian Angel and Irish Cream. They've been really good at providing a really good welcoming atmosphere here. But I'm gonna have a chat with ODA tonight on a couple things, and we'll probably be seeing some other back-end support coming in here on the channel. I want to let you all know, ODA went out and bought a hat. He went out and bought a hat, and that meant the world to me. We got some more announcements coming between ODA and I here in the near future, as soon as we get some things finalized. I don't really want to go into too much detail on it yet, but you're going to see some changes. I haven't really talked about the 180-day challenge that I'm getting ready to post publicly, because there's been some conversations going on between ODA and I. Actually, it's Yoda. Yoda and I've kind of developed a pretty good friendship here. I have Irish Cream and Guardian Angel. Do you guys check your I don't know when those are going to come out, Lynette. And the reason I don't know when the bell hats are going to come out is because I don't like releasing any kind of merchandise until it's 100%. And I released the cups because I got the cup in, and the cup is amazing. Irish Cream and Guardian Angel, you need to check your emails. There's a gift in there for you guys. I did get a new logo. We're going to release that as a limited edition logo that ODA designed for us. I put it out, I think, on Instagram. So I'll be releasing that as a limited edition. But I'm also going to be reaching out to the subscriber base for anybody who's a subscriber. And if you know somebody who's a designer, if you know somebody who's a designer, check your junk mail, because it came in from my, it may have come in from the Backroad Vet domain. We have coffee cups out there as well, Lynette. They should be right below this chat. But if you look on the channel, there's a coffee cup with Denali and Spirit's picture on it. And you guys can support through the coffee cups. You guys can support through super chats. You guys can support through gifts. You guys can support through memberships. And so ODA designed a logo, so we'll put it as a limited edition on the coffee cup. And we'll put it as a limited edition on the coffee cup, so you guys can start supporting through merch. Yeah, we've got a mug. You guys want to see the mug? Will you guys stick around for about 20 seconds? I got the mug in the kitchen. I'll go get it if you guys want to see it. Raise your hand if you want to see the mug. Come on, people, hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. I know you do. I know you do. Okay, I'm gonna go get the mug. Watch out. Come on, Denali, get out of the way. Oh, we gotta go get the mug. I'll be right back. Oh, I gotta be careful how I sit down. I'm trying to. All right, here's the mug. And by the way, ODA bought a hat. ODA bought a hat. ODA bought it. Sit down. ODA bought a hat, and Simple Girl bought a mug. So ODA bought a hat. ODA's also become a member. ODA has become a member. He's bought a hat. And he's designed. Oh, it's good to see you, Tina. Welcome in. Good to see you. These are not logos. These are not logos, as in they didn't just paste this onto the cup. This is printed, and then it has of course a protective covering. There's a picture of Denali. There's a picture of the logo. And there's a picture of Spirit. And I think the 10 ounce, which I got here, there's a 10 or 11 ounce, 15 ounce, and a 20 ounce. These cups, I priced them like 20% off what other creators are pricing, and they're coming through one of the top print on demand companies that's on the market. So I went and got you guys the best of the best. We're finishing up a t-shirt right now. The hats, you guys can ask ODA. That's a hat. It's a hat that comes from it's a Richardson 112 hat is what it's called. It's a Richardson 112. Same thing that you would buy from Carhartt. Same thing that you would buy from any other hat maker. This is what my hat is printed on, is a Richardson 112 hat. So you get the best of the best. ODA just got one in. Simple Girl has a mug. I don't know if Simple Girl's still on right now. And pretty soon, you're going to have two mods. Irish Cream, happy birthday, Guardian Angel. There's a mug. There's a gift of a mug in your email for you, Guardian Angel. You as well, Irish Cream. You both have received mugs as gifts for being such good supporters of this channel the whole time. And I'm looking forward. We're waiting on some confirmation, but ODA and I have a really cool announcement coming out, hopefully very soon. There you go, Simple Girl. Simple Girl, she bought a mug. She was actually the first person within this channel to buy a piece of, or a mug, not a piece of merchandise, but a mug. So your mug is in the email, Guardian Angel. Irish Cream as well has a mug. And ODA, thank you for purchasing a hat and supporting the channel. Simple Girl, you as well. Um, I'm going to put that $5 membership out there. Um, so I tell you what, I'll meet you guys halfway. I'll put a $5 membership out there as soon as we hit. So we'll make it a contest. I'll put a $5 membership out there as soon as we hit 50 members. I will put the merch. There will be a link in the community post. I will put the merch in the community post so you can go check it out. But I tell you what, Molly, how about I meet you halfway? How about I meet you halfway? I'll put a $5 membership out there. I'll put $5 membership out there and I'll link it. ODA found it. I'm new to this. I'll put a $5 membership as soon as we get 50 members on the $5 membership. So that'll give me $250 of revenue a month. Maybe, I think YouTube takes a cut out of that. I don't know. They don't take a cut out of the merchandise. But I tell you what, $5 a month. How about $5.99? $5.99 a month on a membership. As soon as we get 50 members, I will put up a 10% off code for any member. I will put up 10% off of any piece of membership. I'll give a special code out for all the members to get 10% off. When we hit 100 members, we will. How about this? Sean Ryan and all the other creators do, and this is for those guys. If you want to go if you want to go do a Zoom call with those guys, I think the tier is $50 a month to do a Zoom call. That's like Mike Glover, Sean Ryan, guys who have big channels, justifiably so. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Justifiably so, they do a Zoom call with their members once a month at $50. I tell you what, $5.99. As soon as we get 100 members, I will do a Zoom call with you guys once a month, and we will do the Zoom call somewhere out in the woods. Your choice. But this is a channel goal. So this will be all of you working with me to attract new members, and once we have 100 members, then we will have Zoom calls once a month. How's that? Yeah, Sean's he's pushing the envelope. I will tell you this though, Two Goats. I will tell you this. I will always support Sean Ryan whether I disagree with him or not, because Sean Ryan saved my life. I will do that, Simple Girl. Thank you. Sean Ryan saved my life. I will be the first one who thank you, ODA. I'm going to do that on a community post. And the way that he saved my life, Two Ghosts, I want to clarify, I was not in any way thinking about hurting myself or anything like that. But Sean Ryan did a video on ibogaine treatment. I just made a video on psychedelics, my use of psychedelics, and a large part of the reason that I use psychedelics, which I use them for medical treatment. I do not use them just to go out and just use them. I never have, and I never will. But it was through Sean Ryan's video on ibogaine treatment that I said, I want to go do this. Well, in order to do it, I would have to get off my medications. And so I went and I started getting off my medications. Well, when I got off one of those medications, it was masking a lot of bad things I was doing to my body through, bad food, just basically bad food and sitting around not exercising. And when I realized how bad my body was, I realized if I didn't get things turned around like right away, not like, I've got 3 or 4 or 5 years, I needed to make changes right then. And if I did not know and watch that video and get off that medication, I know after talking to my doctor that I would not be here right now. I would not be here having an amazing quality of life with 2 wonderful dogs, a great channel full of people who I love talking to, who I look forward to getting on a Zoom call with. I look forward to that. And Lynette, you better get a membership. Lynette, you better. Sorry, that's wrong. I shouldn't. But you know, I look forward to those Zoom calls. I look forward to getting out into nature and making those videos, getting into some of the deeper things I want to talk to you guys about. You know, about things you need to consider. Maybe, you know, somebody, you know, someday wants to go get, feels like they need to go get a counselor. I've got some things to say about that. You know, and I'm looking forward to making those videos and hanging out. You know, I don't think any of us have ever, you know, had a chance to, you know, get on camera face to face and chatting with each other and getting a chance to know each other. And then you guys will be able to ask me questions without having to type it in. You know, we can real time and do that. But I think it's also worth setting a goal on the channel to do that, so that, you know, we make it worth everybody's while. So you know, we have something to look forward to. So yeah, you and me both, ODA, you and me both. We yeah, you and me both. It was good to meet you, country. I haven't really had a chance to interact with you here tonight because I've been running my mouth, but I appreciate you interacting with the chat and giving up some good viewpoints, and Molly, you as well. Yeah, that's very true. And so I made the psychedelic video. I'm really wanting to get away from that neighborhood drama video that I made. I'll probably eventually go and just pull that. I just want to change the direction of the channel back to where we were going. Get the dogs back in the picture as I'm talking. Go down, you know, find a log, have a seat, sit down, make a video. But something that my goal when I make videos is, if you give me your time watching a video, I want to know that you feel like it was time well spent, because whatever time you gave me, you can't get it back in life. And so that's my goal. And so I will go get the memberships fixed. Hopefully hopefully I'll see you again, country. I hope that I'll see you. What was it that broke your heart, Molly? I don't understand. Well, thank you, Two Goats. I'm glad. And it was probably from that neighborhood drama video, which, you know, as you can see, I'm changing direction on the channel. I want to take the lessons that I've learned and, of course, share them with people, because I think as human beings, we all have something valuable to share, whether it's on a YouTube channel or whether it's over a cup of coffee with somebody. We all, you know what, Molly? I solved the problem. I did. I solved the problem. The issue's been resolved. And when I say I solved the problem, I took the high road. I took the high road. I set a higher standard for myself. I let the process work through as it should, through law enforcement, and then through the judges. And, you know, the problem may come back. The problem may come back, but it's not because these people didn't do their job. Law enforcement did their job. The judges did their job. Now it's up to these people to do their job and be good neighbors. And if they choose not to do so, I will go back through the system again and hold them accountable. But that's, you know, I've seen many people on that video saying, oh, you need to, you know, I made the video on Man Up and all that. I've said all that. But people who come in and say, oh, you should feed them a ball of peanut butter with, you know, something in it. You should do this to, it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, you know, oh, you need to, you know, get a shotgun or whatever. No, I'm in the neighborhood. I'm not going to do that. You know, I just have to trust the system to do what the system's going to do. And for now, the system has done that. If those people choose to go back and, you know, be assholes again, then I'll go back to the system. So yeah, so we've got that taken care of for right now. So we're going to go back to enjoying the chats here getting to know each other, having a good time. You know, I've chatted here tonight. And the reason that I've been chatting a lot more me lately is not only get to know you all and let you all get to know me, but also Denali's in the middle of blowing her coat. She's laying here right now. She's relaxed. The air conditioning's on in here. But if I get Denali up and get her moving, she's creating that heat, that body energy, and so I have to really manage that. Also with Spirit's going to be getting a hip operation this summer. Y'all are going to be helping out with that by buying the merch and getting the memberships and the super chats going, because he's going to be getting a full hip operation. So we're going to be documenting that as well here on the channel. Denali's she's going down for a deep ear cleaning. She's going down for teeth cleaning, and I'm going to have her, whichever one it is, spayed or neutered. I always get them confused. She's going to be going down for that on May 18th. So she's blowing her coat. She's getting all that taken care of. I know you will, Detton Gator. I'm talking to everybody, not just you. Detton, you know what? If you guys really want to help out the channel most of all, go watch the videos. Go watch the videos, because those videos, when you watch them, it brings more people in. That's why you see all the content creators saying like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because that's the best thing that you can do for a channel is watch those videos, comment on those videos. I never thought that I would be the guy sitting here saying that, because I used to watch. I know you do, Gator, and I appreciate it very much. I never thought I'd be the guy sitting here telling people, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, but now I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. So I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you. We've been on here about an hour too long, but I've enjoyed the chat. Go meet your neighbor. Go meet your neighbor. Go say hi to your neighbor for me. Spirit, let's say hi to Spirit. Spirit, get your big old face. Everybody wants to see you tonight. Oh, look at you. I bet, watch this, everybody. Oh, yep, look at that. Treat bag. Look at that tongue out there. We got the tongue, the treat bag. We got the tongue in the treat bag. Look at that. Oh, yeah, look at those big old eyes, everybody. We're going to get in here. Look at that. Get up here and say hi to everybody. Get up here and say hi to everybody. He says, Dad, I just sit back here because the queen, she does all the work. She gets all the people into the chat. I just sit back here and eat the treats because I'm cool like that, Dad. I'm cool. Because she gets a, look at your hair's sticking up like a mess. Get down here and say hi to everybody. Oh my gosh, look at that. You just picking at that thing. Let's go give everybody a jump before we say goodnight. All right, ODA, this one for you. She got the mohawk. ODA, Irish cream, guardian angel. Happy birthday, guardian angel. Let's give him a jump. Come on, let's give him a jump. Oh, let's give him a jump. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Let's get down a little bit so I can see your head. Get down a little bit so I can see your head. Here. Oh, look at that. All right, let's get back here. Come on, there you go. Look at that girl. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Good chat tonight, everybody. Good chat. Happy birthday. Hi, Avery. We'll be on tomorrow night. Good night, two goats. Good night, everybody. Happy birthday. Enjoy the oh, shut up, ODA. Shut up, man. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put ODA's up. I'm going to put his logo up that he made tomorrow. Thank you, ODA, for being the first member. I'll get those memberships fixed up. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Everybody have a good night. I'll talk to you in a few minutes, ODA. Oh, watch out. Huh?